I have 3 staff that have built houses and own lands.
Did they steal your
Their
money?
salary is not more than 100K.
How would you earn 1 million? Is it
Do you
easy
think
to
it's
get 1
easy to?
million?
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
To earn 1 million in Nigeria?
Are you
it
sure
is-
you are
it
in
is-
touch with?
It is possible to save 1 million.
With
Oh,
how
yeah.
much are you earning?
It's possible to save.
It's not
It
possible.
will happen
Depends
to
on
you.
what you are earning.
That's the, but somebody in your shoes will say it's possible and do it.
What to what's it called? To Banex, it's 1,000 naira.
Again, my
How
guy.
much is the person earning in Banex?
Okay, so
How much is the person not eating?
and even in Nigeria itself, it's even cheaper to be rich.
Hello and welcome to another episode on Vibe with Fit More. I am your amiable host, Precious Emmanuel, and co-hosting with me is a very wonderful personality. Please, sir, could you introduce yourself to everyone?
Martins, aka MC Dialogue, and what we talk about is reality.
Yeah, the reality master. Yes, you're welcome to the studio today. And with us, we have two very wonderful guests who are going to be doing justice to the topic we have today. And the topic we have today is going to tailor to a whole lot of people. It has something to do with a business. And we're going to make you understand what business is about and the challenges are inherent in business. So before we go into the session properly, we would like you to meet our guest. Please, could you introduce yourself, the man on blue?
Hi, my name is Precious. I am a business owner. I own a garden called the Hangover Bar, and I own an event solutions brand called the Weekend Shutdown. We handle anything from waiters to bouncers to rentals to games, sound, lights, anything event solution and execution. And at the Hangover, sell food, cocktails, do 1 or 2 events, karaoke, movie nights, etc. Pretty much that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being in studio today. Okay, the man on green, could you introduce yourself to
Hi.
people at home?
My name is Joshua Abraham. I run a convenience service called Midas Autos. We help car owners do basically everything they want to do if you choose not to, or would just rather pay a convenience service, from registration, full documentation, driver's license. We rent cars, we rent drivers, we sell. We can help you, buy as well. So yeah, that's what we do.
Oh, awesome. So we are with the right people to talk about this business. So like I said before, we were talking about business and its challenges. Like everybody goes to school, studies one thing or the other, but mostly because of the economy and because people don't really get white collar jobs like that. There's no job waiting for you when you come out of school. Exactly. So people tend to want to go into business, buying and selling, just to make ends meet. And if things are wonderful, the business could blow up and, they become importer, exporter, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we want to start with you, Mr. Precious. What do you think business is all about? How do you see business? Not just in Nigeria, business generally. What is it about?
Okay, so it depends on who is talking, but generally business is selling value for value, cash or whatever sort of value in said situation. So if you are talking about why people get into business, I feel that's what you're trying to ask. I would say in Nigeria, people tend to say that because they feel things are hard and business is the way to go. From my experience, I've seen that they're actually jobs. There are actually more opportunities outside business. And a business is for a select few. I would explain. To run a business, and there are some things that like I said, business is exchanging value, but there are different types of businesses. There are businesses that are fully developed. I've never had a job, so I don't know some terms, but I'm sure he will be able to help me interpret. We work together, by the way. Some things I want to say. So for me, what I see a business is a, you know, a brand that is trading value, yes, but a structured one. You know, structured to the point that, you know, who is meant to be here by 6 a.m. is here by 6 a.m. Who is meant to be, it's not dependent on the one person whose initiative it is to start the business. So, you know, for the sake of my own definition, you know, if you have a business where you are the one selling, you're the social media, you're the this, you're the that, you're the, you know, I would say you don't yet have a business. You see, you are trading value. It's just like if I was an artist or a rapper or a hype man, there's value. I don't have a job. Or if I was a DJ, but that value is not necessarily a business. And there's another DJ that maybe has DJs taking wedding gigs here, multiple points of sales. You know, he's taking a wedding here, there's a birthday here, all on the same day. That's someone that has a business, you understand? So that's my definition of what a business is. So I think what you're trying to say, you know, in Nigeria, everybody's just trying to hustle. We're all animals first, and we hunt. You understand? It's just the truth, you know. Just like, yeah, higher level, spiritual, whatever, but we hunt. You know, us staying together is a form of hunting, because we know that, okay, one by one, we're no match against a lion, but with a fence, with a community, you get. So it's all hunting. The person that wakes up in the morning and he's not an agent, but he's selling land because somebody said they need land, still trading values, different from the person that is a real estate firm that has people working for them, has a structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in other words, according to you, business is, what is called a business is when you have already laid down structure. You can trade values, you can exchange values for money or for any other kind of reward. That is not a business. Especially when it's not something you do on a regular basis. Like you said, someone who decides to just be an agent because there's somebody who needs maybe
exactly
a house or a land or something. At that particular point in time, you are able to help. That doesn't mean that is what you do for a living. Having a business is having structures, having people who probably are working for you and who can do a lot of things at the same time. Thank you, Mr. Precious. Okay, I'll go over to you, Mr. Joshua. I've heard his definition of business.
Yes.
I want to hear yours. What do you think business is? Okay, let's not talk about the challenges and all of that. Let's talk about what do we understand by business. You're a businessman.
Yes.
You've listed a whole lot of things that you do.
Yes.
So what does it mean to you?
For me personally, I feel like business primarily starts from providing a solution, whether unique or something that is adapted for your environment. You know, I think that's what businesses should stand on. You know, like you mentioned, a lot of businesses start in Nigeria because there's either no job or, you know, there's no resources or whatever. But primarily, what makes a business stand out and what makes it last longer than others is the solution it provides and why the business does what it does. So first of all, I think a business is about a unique solution. So you find a solution, something that you can change or you can either do better or optimize better than anyone else. And then you now create a structure to monetize, you know. So that's what I think the foundation of business is personally.
Okay. That's wonderful. So business is about providing a solution.
Providing a solution, yes.
Providing a solution. And so if I come to Harmony Estate or I come to a part of Abuja and they're not selling akara, but people want akara, if I start selling akara, I'm providing a solution, so I have a business.
Yeah, supply and demand.
Awesome.
Okay, I want to ask Mr. Precious a question, right? Based on your definition of business, I would want to know, in your opinion, or okay, let me just go to you direct. What is that moment? Why do you decide to go into business? Is it that there was a demand for that? There was a gap you decide to fill? Or there are other things? What was that aha moment of say, okay, I want to go into business? Just a little bit of that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I've always just done business. So
You were born a businessman.
No. I've
Okay.
always just traded value. Because let me say that. If maybe there was a time I used to make cards, paints, draw, sell those. And there was a time I used to do other stuff, sell food, and there's a time, where I used to just primarily do events, parties. You get. I think
Okay.
from the
let me tell you why
changes.
Sorry, sir. Let me tell you why I asked the question. You said if you are a DJ and it's not yet a business to your definition, except you can be a DJ in 2 or 3 different locations. That is when your business. That is why I actually asked that question, because for me, my personal opinion. Sorry, we have 2 different sides of understanding of the word business. For me, as long as I have provided value for you, regardless of if that is my niche or not, we have done business. On that, I'm a businessman at that point. So it is left for me to know, okay, I want to build on this idea of all these for example, you gave an example of an agent or a real estate somebody, right? You said if it is not a laid down structure, then it's not yet a business. And I am of the opinion that it starts from somewhere. I can just sit and, okay, somebody calls me for a house, an agent, I decide to look for a house for that person. That person talks to somebody else, and I feel like, oh, Omo, that is, I think I'm good in this kind of business. So I decide to, okay, let me start doing such. And me, your definition, give value or exchange value or give solution, then it's business. And that is where my question is coming from. What is that moment that you now decide that, okay, I want to do this business? Is it based on there was a gap in the market for your business, or it's a personal convention, or there was something else, just generally?
So I was getting there. From me, it was after I have been all these things, being successful at them, but one major, maybe life decision changes. Okay, I did art till a point that I couldn't do it anymore because of my environment. Sold food till I lost the contract to be supplying food the way I was supplying food. I was making the business sustain. I did events because I was now in an environment where I was just doing events and they were working. They were paying the bills. And, after doing so many things, it made me understand that the reason why you need structure and the reason, that's why I say my definition. And I'll advise you to take my definition. And this is why. You see, if I had structure and I moved to Lagos, for example, there's a business operating in Abuja. It is separate from me. Do you understand? The concept of a business is the reason why people go to school, so that you can trade other people's time and they can be qualified enough for their time to be valuable to your business. Do you understand? The reason why school is basically a factory of workers. Do you understand? High reward workers, low reward workers, but still workers. A business is one that can take advantage of that. As long as these changes can come into your life and your business cannot continue, you just have a hustle. That's the truth. Okay. You don't have, and I'll give you examples, at maybe every quarter of my life, I've been something different. I told you, I used to paint. I've not painted in maybe 14 years, but I used to paint, draw, supply supermarkets. You get, it was a proper hustle, but maybe I had 1 or 2. It's not even about the people working for you. It's about being able, I have staff now, but my business is still disorganized. My garden is new. Do you understand? Because why? There's no structure to the different. Have you ever had a proper blue collar job? Have you ever felt these people are wicked? They're not. Have you ever felt like your boss is like a robot? They don't seem to give second chances. You fuck up, you're being penalized. There's no It's different from the business where, oh guy, I came late, I went to see my aunties, whatever. They locked my brother in police station. There's structure. Structure doesn't account for the humanity in it. It is, do you understand what I mean? It doesn't mean because you are trading value, you don't have a business. I started from that. I started from doing things by myself. But the truth is, as long as you're trading your time for money, you're not doing enough. You need to trade other people's time. That's the truth. You only have 24 hours in a day. You can only do 24-hour shit. But imagine if I have 10 staff. Now I have 240 hours a day. So to speak.
So there is no empathy in business.
No, you are a human being. There's empathy, but there is no allowance for, you can't, everybody is going through something. Do you understand? I can tell you firsthand, I've suffered from, you have to be ruthless. And ruthless doesn't mean wicked. Ruthless just means, I don't have another word for it, but ruthless, for lack of better explanation, is, follow the rules. A is A, agreement is agreement. You
I
understand?
think he's talking about when you have a structure,
Yeah.
a
Yes.
system.
In fact, within a
If you have a
system,
system, is there no? He was like, you cannot come and say, is there no space for your workers to, let's say, give excuses based on nobody's back based on life occurrences?
no,
So,
and I'll tell you why. Sorry, Josh.
Okay.
You see, there is within a system, there's allowance for things. So I'm not going to be available at work equals to sending notice. Do you understand? Not being at work and coming to say why after you have cost me a day. Do you understand? You get that, and again, this is my definition, and I'm saying it will help because it will help you scale. It will help you see, and that's why I say business is not for everybody. It's a particular type of people. And what I mean by that is temperaments matter. I am it's easy to get on my nerves. Like, I may not show it, but it's easy to get on my nerves. But I have found that from the businesses I did that worked, I had to find people that had better temperaments. Do you understand? Like, so imagine someone that cannot accept the fact that they can't do something and they need to find someone that can do it to partner with. You get, that's already a flaw on your part. Some people can't. Some people's egos are too big. You get, and that is a type of person. Yeah, so that's what I mean by.
Okay. I'd like to chime in, right?
Okay, please.
Okay.
And because I feel like I understand where he's coming from. And if we're speaking in the ideal sense of things, let me just put it in context. You can have a hustle, you can trade values, but still not be a businessman, right? So let me just give an example. So I'm one of the few people who happen to experience, the best of both worlds. I had a 9-to-5 before I started my business, right? When I had a 9-to-5, I was a learning and development consultant. So the people that they send to companies to train, they say their managers are not good leaders or they need more emotional intelligence or, soft skills topics, basically just help them improve their behavior in the workplace, right? Now, from time to time, people reach out to me to say, oh, look, I have this project in maybe Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja. Can you help me run like a 2 or 3 day training? From time to time, I do that. It does not mean that I have a consulting business. I am just a resource person. Okay. So do you see where it's coming from now?
Okay.
So you can start doing something to earn money on the side. It is when you have a structure, like he said, that it now becomes a business. And if we're even now speaking legally, right? A business is a separate entity from you. If me, right now, I am Joshua. My business, Midas, is a separate entity. It has its own rules. It is an institution. It has its own structure.
It can be sued.
Yes. So if you're dealing with someone now, if you want to buy like, let's say land or a car or something, you would like someone with a registered business. Why? Because it gives you the assurance that there's a structure that exists outside this individual. So even if this individual is limited in capabilities to help you, there is an institution that is behind it. So that's why even according to CAC, there's a clear difference between registering a business name and being incorporated. A clear difference. So
Because of the board of directors now.
yeah, so a board of directors is even like it's not even
It's not the only thing,
the only thing, but it creates like I said, the business is a separate entity, right? You're not dealing with just an individual. So the registration process even starts to, distinguish a business from an individual or a resource person from the beginning, before we now even move into structure and everything else that makes a business,
Okay. With what you've said now, right? I want to ask a question.
Okay.
If I have a company,
Yes.
right, and I'm driving my company car,
Okay.
and somebody hits that company car
Okay.
while I was the one driving the car,
Yes.
and that person wants to sue,
Yes.
is it possible if the person is suing that company because you are driving the company car, right?
Yes.
If the person is suing that company, is it different from the person driving that car? Or if I'm suing the person driving the car, am I also suing that company?
Oh, you are suing the company, not the car. The company is different from the person driving the car. Completely different.
Even if the person that is driving the car is the owner of the company.
Yes. Completely different. So let me explain, right? When you register a company, like I said, it becomes an institution on its own. The company now has the ability to own property. So if you get an office building, the office building is registered in the name of the company. If you have an official car, ideally, in an ideal world, the company car is registered to the company, and the company will bear liability if anything happens. So in an ideal world, right, I keep saying that because we're in Nigeria and things don't exactly work the way they do. If you have an accident like that, both parties come down and then they exchange insurance information. The car that the person is driving, if it's owned by the company, that means the company is what is insured by the insurance company, not the individual.
Okay.
So you see, there's a clear difference. Now, if you are dealing with just an individual, a personal car, since it's your personal car, you are personally liable because it's registered in your name and you are the one that is insured. And even in terms of insurance, like insurance is not transferred. Do you get what I mean? So if the car is insured in the company's name, it can't be transferred to another individual just because you are in possession of the car.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, a company is like having a structured company is way different from, being a resource person or having a hustle or trading values.
Nice. I like, because there's an issue that has made me ask this question, right? To know if the individual and the company are the same. Because for me, I was of the opinion that if he is the owner of the company and he's the one driving that car, company car, and he has an accident, then if you are suing him, you are also suing the company. But now,
No.
thank you for making it clear. If you are suing the man, then you are suing the man. If you are suing the company, you are
suing the company. Yeah, that's why you see headlines sometimes when you see this HNI. I wouldn't mention names, but this person is owing so billion, or this person is owing so billion, right? It's because the company is the one with the debt, not them. Exactly. That's why whoever is the president of Nigeria doesn't have debt just because Nigeria has debt. It's Nigeria, even though the president borrowed on behalf of the country.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true.
Oh, really?
Thank you for that.
Our session has actually been very insightful, though we have kind of veered off from whatever it is we're talking about. So I'm going to try to calibrate us. Okay, so we're talking about business. Thank you so much for your insight. Really eye-opening, because we actually understood business in another light. Yes, and this is this has actually helped us to add to knowledge of what we had before. Okay, now so let's talk about starting off a business. Like you said, business is not meant for everybody. Okay, maybe there are some people like there's some people that they're born and
white collar job,
and then the pixie dust of business was put on somebody, and then for white collar jobs were put on another person. A blue collar job, pixie was put on another person. So I'm coming to understand that business, not everybody can do business. That's what, according to what Mr. Precious said. Okay, now I want to understand, like, starting off a business in Nigeria. This is where we are. Okay, I know things might work differently in other places, but what are the inherent challenges for someone who is starting off a business, like a startup, someone who probably doesn't even have any background or any before knowledge of business, but I just want to, has realized that I have a value I want to trade for money.
So what are the challenges?
What are the challenges that are inherent in that space?
Um. Again, I have a contradictory opinion. If you say in Nigeria, I think it is easiest. I've not traveled. But I've read or seen some requirements for businesses in other countries, and I think it's easiest to start a business in Nigeria. In Nigeria, sometimes it's as simple as even business name, and you start doing some things that someone with proper registration needs. There's when you say there's somewhere that doesn't have structure, yeah, there's no lights, yeah, fuel is high, but there's also no proper taxing system. You get, there's also before I pay tax, I do not know. You get, so there are some things that are not challenges. Nowadays it's as simple as you making up your mind to show up every day and posting to your immediate contact at first, and you make money, you scale, prioritize what it is you need to look more professional and pay for that. I think it's easy in Nigeria. That's the truth.
So in other words, there are no challenges for...
No, they are. But the challenges are challenges I think you face pretty much anywhere. Yes, there's the issue of fuel, there's the issue of lights. But nowadays there are even a lot of alternatives to lights. There are all these, I was just showing him the other day, these small solars now that are everywhere. They're like solar inverter or powerhouses. They're not so big. They're below 500k. Some are even below 200k.
So don't you think financing is also a problem when it comes to business in
So
Nigeria?
you see,
capital.
in so good.
It's like he's trying to run away
Yes,
from that.
tell us
No,
that there are no...
I have-
Yeah, I feel like he has not
I
seen the
have-
shiggy I've seen.
I have,
Oh, like, do you get?
I have marketed for over 70 brands. I've started with brands where they started with billions. I've started with brands that started with nothing. And many of them failed within the spectrum of who had money and who didn't have money.
Okay.
And so I'm saying that just like in life,
Okay.
you start from where you are with what you have. In the Bible, the widow that had oil, that is it Elisha or Elijah multiplied, she first had something now. Every time God has blessed, 5 loaves of bread, 5 fishes,
Something else
you get.
available.
So you will start with what you have. Forget that one. There's no anybody that is saying money. Money is hard for everyone. In short, let me tell you something. I've done business for 10 years now. I had money. I had more money than most of my friends when I was in my 20s. I was lucky. Most of my friends now are directors. Their salaries are 5M. Their offices are paying for their trips. They are traveling out. They are changing car. They have way more money than me. Because I'm an entrepreneur, I will pay staff. Today, they marked our container. Let's go to environmental. Let's go to problems, choke. Like, I'm the last person to get paid. Go and ask the MD of anywhere if he has peace of mind. The person that is the highest paid in that company is the person that is balling. So, it's not, finance is not anything. In fact, if you want to get wealthy, I will advise you can just learn about money. Let me just summarize it like that. It's not necessarily business. There are people that they were earning 300k and they were dropping 100k per month. At the end of every year, they bought one land. At the end of every year, they bought this, they bought that, and slowly they accumulated wealth. They did not,
Are you saying those that own business rarely bore?
No, I'm saying it is an illusion that business is the way out.
Mm.
Everything has a low percentage at the top. People that have jobs, there's a small percentage of them that are rich. People that have businesses, there's a small percentage of them.
So based
that
on
are
I
rich.
don't know this guy. He said if you want to be poor for the rest of your life, try working 9 to 5 jobs. That the best way to be wealthy or the best way to be financially free is for you to have a business of your own?
That is opinion now.
And people always
If-
talk about multiple streams
One
of
stream
income.
of income. And
So
you
if
cannot
I'm
work
doing
here
just a
and-
9 to
so
5, the other alternative is to
it's
provide value,
business,
which is
yeah.
business.
Yes, business or one.
So
or two
if you're telling
businesses.
me I should be running away from 9
Oh, you're
to
trying
5, and then
make
I
me
should also be
understand
running
that
away
it's
from
like the last one
business.
that is being paid.
Business
Yeah.
is not multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income is I am making money from this,
Yeah.
from treasury bill. I'm making money from the gold that I bought. I'm making money from the apartment that I built. I'm making money.
Okay.
So it's like, remember what we defined, value and business.
Okay.
So that multiple streams of income is not business. In fact, go and find somebody that has multiple business. Again, I come back to you and see if they have peace of mind. See, you have multiple businesses. I think you didn't understand what I said when I said at the top percentile, there's rich people everywhere.
Okay.
Like, it's not okay. There's
Not
this
only business
statistics.
people.
There's this statistics that in the first 2 years, 75% of businesses fail.
Fail. Mhm.
That's higher than any other sector. You want to say 9 to 5 poor? No, the people that are poor don't have good discipline over their money, and it's not easy to be disciplined because people underestimate what discipline is. It is. I've made 100K. I'm owing somebody 100K. I'm owing this one 50K. I need to pay for this. I need to pay for that. I need to pay, and you still save. Like, you still plan at your inconvenience. It's not easy now. It's not. It's people just throw it in there.
So
Like-
it's no longer about business, about you understanding money.
Yeah, understand money, understand how the world works, understand, that's why there's poor Christians, there's rich Christians, there's poor pagans, there's rich. There's no singular denominator apart from the fact that people that have money just understand how money works.
I don't agree with this one, Sha.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So according to Precious, what he's
Yes.
trying to say is that in every sector, it's not, in fact, business is not a guarantee
Okay.
that you'll be wealthy.
Well done.
Because for a 9 to 5, for a business owner, for someone who is maybe a tech,
You take-
everybody,
Really?
there's a percentage of people who are rich.
Okay.
There is a percentage of people who are
In
in the middle
school,
class, and there are people who are down.
That
So
woman that used to sell fruits, that we used to buy fruits from her from Punch. That woman used to sell like, in fact, I knew somebody in school that was supplying watermelon. He was making $1 million a month as at 2012. Like, do you understand? Like that. That's like the equivalent of an Akara woman. I'm telling you that in every hustle, in every waka, there's poor Yahoo boys, there's rich Yahoo boys, there's
Okay.
poor politicians, there's rich politicians. There is they just all understand how money works. That's the truth. Like,
Fair.
okay, Mr.
Well,
Joshua.
So first of all, let me tell you about the shege that me I've seen, right?
Okay.
I can't talk about
Sat.
the general environment. I can only talk about my own context, right? So I started off, creating a convenience service that helps people fix cars strictly. We started from fixing. And it happened because me personally, as a car owner, I had seen shege. Proper shege. Almost every mechanic from Lekki Phase 1 all the way down to Aja, I had gone to and had suffered personally. I'm not joking. It was really bad. So eventually, I kind of stumbled into the business. I think I was working with a company at the time, and they wanted to get like official cars for the top management. And they said, Josh is a car guy. He loves cars. Give it to him, right? So from there, I got the cars. I had to liaise with a couple workshops to do one or two, because even if you buy like a Nigerian used or foreign used car, one or two things to be done. And then we just had a conversation, struck an agreement. So the next time somebody asked me, do you know someone who can fix a car? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And then that's how I started, right? So the problem started coming, first of all, right? If you are in this sector, if you are in the automobile sector and you do not control your ecosystem, you will see shege, because the entire value chain is unreliable. And here's what I mean, right? So if you don't have capital to build your own workshop, then you have to outsource. You have to use reliable partners, right? So starting from there, let me just put it plainly. There is no workshop in Nigeria that is working at, let me even say it's 5% efficiency. Not one, including the big names. Things don't work the way they are supposed to, because it's either we don't have the right equipment or we don't even have the right parts.
5%.
You know? I said
Mechanic.
85%. I said 85%.
Okay, 5%.
At 85% efficiency, or not up to. max they would achieve is like, let's say, between 70 to 75% is what the average Nigerian car owner would term very good service, but it's not what it's supposed to be. And when I say the entire value chain is unreliable, so you say, okay, fine, right? Let's imagine you come in as a client, you send a message, I would like, someone to come check on my car. It's doing XYZ, right? Me as a new business owner now, back in 2022, would say, okay, you know what? Let me assign one person to go to you to go check the car. This person, who normally, in the context of the workshop, performs well, has a tendency to go to the client site and just disgrace you. Right? So, do you get what I mean? Because if they're reliable 90% of the time, there's a chance that 10%, if you are not there with the person, especially with specialized cars, they'll give wrong diagnosis, and that's the beginning of a disaster, right? So let's not even assume, okay, fine. You find the right technician, the right specialist for the right car, right? Then you move the car to the workshop, time to get the parts. Before you find the parts for some cars in this country is a problem. The second problem is, would you find an original part? That's 2. Number 3, would you find a supplier that will give you this part with a warranty? Because keep in mind, since you are the convenience service, you are the one that is going to be accountable to the car owner. So if anything happens, I am the one that replaces, not the mechanics or the workshops.
Yeah.
Right? There's that. Now,
I'm not the person that even supplies.
not the person, right? So if you don't find someone who's going to give you that with a warranty, you are in soup. And if it just happens to be an expensive car, an expensive part,
You're at loss.
God help you.
At the end
Now,
of the
let's even imagine that things now go well. You find the right technician, you find the original part, you find the right supplier. The next problem, dispatch riders. You see where this is going now,
day.
right? So, like I said, in my context, I had a lot of challenges, and there are even still challenges right now because of the system we're in. Because we're in Nigeria, there are a lot of tools and things that you are not, are not available to you. And even in terms of financing, I think financing is an issue, because in other countries, there's a structure that helps people get financing for businesses. Even for your personal finances, like a lot of countries have the credit system
Nigeria
where you can
doesn't
actually access
really have
cash,
that.
even if you don't have it right now. There's grants, there's VCs trying to fund unique businesses, that there was a point in life where VCs had their eyes on Nigeria, especially with fintech companies. The fintech bubble, I think, is bursting now, but that's a conversation for another day, right? So those are the challenges that, I faced personally. And I feel like a lot of other people are facing these challenges as well, because like I said, which is highly unlikely. If you do not control your entire ecosystem, you would have to work with other B2B companies to fulfill your own, your side of business. Or if you even outsource, for you to find reliable people, even if you want to even employ, right? If you want to employ people, for you to find the right stuff, I can't count how many times I've hired someone and sacked the person within 2 weeks because the work ethic was just not there. So there are lots of challenges, right? And then in terms of the, should I say, wealth conversation, 9 to 5 versus business. Personally, I do not think it is possible to get rich on a salary. And I think that there are facts to actually state that, because the measure of wealth globally, how you measure who is the richest or whatever, is Forbes list, right? If you check on the Forbes list, how many spots would you have to go down before you find a salary earner?
Yes.
The kind of wealth we actually want. So
with Precious.
There are jobs that would actually pay you a lot. In Nigeria, if you don't work in maybe oil and gas or tech, or maybe a few other niche places, forget proper salary. I'm not even going to lie to you.
They have businesses they are running.
Yeah, because me personally,
Real money.
yeah, so personally, when I had a 9 to 5, right, I think I was in consulting for a few years. I grew fast, right? But even with the titles I had, I think less than 2 years, I went from entry level to assistant head in like 3 different companies. But even with that title, when I started my business, within, I think 5-6 months, I started maybe even doubling or tripling what I used to earn then.
As an employee.
As an employee. So challenges will come. It's natural in business. From time to time, you always have to adapt because it's life. No matter whether you're Nigeria, America, Europe, challenges will come. You just have to adapt. But even at that, I still think personally, you cannot get rich on a salary. The richest person, I think the highest, earning CEO I know about is the CEO of Apple. I think 2 years ago, he got a $2 billion bonus. And you say that like it's a lot. But that year, Apple's profit, not revenue, net profit was $365 billion, which meant they essentially made $1 billion a day, but they cut $2 billion and gave him and said, go home.
Imagine.
Okay.
You can imagine what the CEO.
CEO, $2 billion.
What would you say is rich? Because everybody.
I didn't say rich. I said wealth. Two different things entirely.
I know wealth. You can't now. There's no. Yeah. I just explained what schools are for, Seth. But you can be rich. Rich is, the human beings, but the cause of our problems. Okay, that's the truth. You see,
now
you just give the example of someone that got a $2 billion bonus, right? It sounded big to everybody until they said the total. Do you understand? Contentment. Like do you understand that a $10 billion net worth billionaire and a 500 million naira millionaire, they will go to the same places, do the same things. What is the most expensive thing in the world? An island. How much is it? $2-3 million.
Some people want to go to Mars.
Do you understand? Things where
because
you
why
can
not?
eat,
If you can, why not?
Driving with comfort.
If you can, why not?
You can go to
Everybody
any
has
hospital.
different-
You have access. Human beings are the cause of their
But
problems.
there's more to life. That same
No,
500 million that
see.
seems like a lot. One person owns a mega yacht worth
It does-
550.
you see, you have not made-
just one mega yacht.
You have
550
not made
million.
a
It's gone.
point apart from somebody else has it. That is what is giving it value to you. The fact that somebody else has it. Why? Why can't, one trap that I've come out of successfully is always anticipating
Wanting
the
more.
next thing.
Wanting more.
No, I will get more. But there's this thing of, I used to imagine, oh God, let me just be making 1 million a month. Making 1 million a month, I'm not even living in that, in the present. I'm thinking of when I'm making 10 million a month. Making 10 million a month, not in the present. I want to build house. Appreciate the things you have. See, I'm not even, this one I'm motivational speaker. I'm saying like to be rich, safe, right? Cap it. Let's even cap it at $100,000, right? Okay. There are good jobs outside the country that will give you that. I'm saying
in
like
a year or in a month.
in a year.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that, and even in Nigeria itself, it's even cheaper to be rich. Do you know that
Easier to be rich in Nigeria.
it is cheaper? Yes, it's.
I don't understand.
You go build house with like you go fee buy. They're selling house in Pape now 1 million.
How would you earn 1 million? Is it
Do you
easy
think
to
it's
get 1
easy
million?
to? Yeah.
Okay.
To earn 1 million in Nigeria.
Are you
it
sure you are in touch with?
It is possible to save 1 million. See what I'm saying?
It is possible to save with how much are you earning?
It's possible to save. You see, there is two things. It's either it's possible or it's not possible. Whatever you
It's
say,
not possible.
it will happen
Depend
to
on
you.
what you are earning.
But somebody in your shoes will say it's possible and do it. Facts.
With what the person
With the
is
same
earning.
salary. Yes, that's why you put two human beings in the same situation. The only difference is them.
Kuba to what's it called? To Banex is 1,000 naira.
Again, my guy.
How much is the person earning in Banex?
Okay, so
how much is the person not eating?
So let
Is
me.
the person not eating? What will he save at the end of the day?
So the thing is,
Let me give him an example. Let me give him an example.
Okay, please do.
I have 3 staff that have built houses and own lands.
Did they steal your
Their
money?
salary is not more than 100K. I'm
And they
telling you,
have
there's
built
land
house
of
in Abuja
500K.
here?
Yeah. So
Yes, he has 5
Where-
self-cons
okay,
in his compound.
Okay.
They play.
See,
Your
put it in
gate man
context.
is
Put it
taking
in
care of his
context.
children in Kano. They are
Where is this
living in their
property?
built
What is it
house.
worth?
All right.
What are you saying?
Okay, that means it's not just the work that he's doing for you that's giving him the money.
Yes, there are other things.
There may be other things. I'm not arguing
Has to
about
be.
that.
That's the thing.
Has to be.
He's doing
That's
business.
the thing.
Coming
Has to
back
be.
to
We are-
you.
see,
No,
we are-
he
we are
has
not-
to.
somewhere.
That
It's
is
not
what we
a
are. That's what I
9 to
said.
5 job that will make him
Exactly.
that.
That's what I was talking about. Like it is not just one. Just like you said, salary can make you rich.
Okay, you're saying on a salary.
Okay,
alone.
Precious. Let's look at data,
On-
right?
On a salary
Wait, let me
basis,
analyze
on
this
just
statement.
one pay.
Wait now.
Oh,
The
just one
statement,
pay.
the statement is a salary
One collect
can't
loan.
make you rich.
At all, not possible.
No,
It
so
can't.
so
It can't.
that's is it that it can't, or there are some people's salary that can't make them rich, and there are some people's salary that
Okay,
can
let's look at
make
data.
them rich.
Let's look at data.
Because
Let's look
no,
at data.
it's-
Well, how much is the
mm-mm.
average salary in
You
Nigeria?
made an illustration. Look at
Josh,
how many people there.
when you say how
think
much
are
is the
salary
average
earners?
salary, you have said can it or can it not?
Oh,
There are jobs-
let's start from there.
There are
now. Let's
jobs
start from
that
there.
the salary can enable you to save, buy land, do stuff. What the point I was making when I said Gatesman, all these things is the people that want to be rich are the people that put their mind to it. See, wealth comes from acquiring things,
How
right?
do you acquire?
Yes,
How do you get the resources to
there are
acquire?
two ways. There
How
are
do you
two-
get the money to acquire?
Yes, people. There are two types of people that acquire. There are people that acquire gradually, and there are people that take risks, high risk, high reward. That's business you people are talking about.
Mhm.
Our parents bought lands, houses slowly. They got rich slowly. I grew up with my parents hustling. They are rich now. They were not rich when I was growing up, and it's from jobs. You get your question
Yeah.
is can. Do you know, you know when everybody's always talking, I don't know why they're always talking about the lowest of the lows. There are job earners doing well. There are job earners bettering their skills.
Yeah,
they have
what percentage
3-4
though?
jobs. There are people working online getting paid in dollars in this same Nigeria.
Yes.
Do you understand? Lawal started working as a waiter. Enter kitchen, they follow me, do boss, make I join you, cook. Got promoted to a cook. From cook, became a supervisor. No education. It's interest. You cannot tell me you give value where you are and you will not be recognized. Nigerians think showing up is work. It's not. Nigerians use transport to calculate that, okay, I spent so transport, they should pay me my salary. What value? You want to tell me you work in a company? And why do you think they are paying him that bonus because he's CEO? He had a hand in that money.
Definitely,
There are
yes.
people that work in real estate firms. Their salary is not anything. They are making money for the real estate company. Nigerians want to work for somebody, add no value, and be paid and be rich. How? It's not. There are farmers that are rich now.
Wait, Precious. Let me give you context.
Okay.
And let me give you data. Right?
I like the part where you say there are people that don't want to add value to a company
But want to be paid.
but want to be paid. But I have a slight distance to that. Why? Because I work to somewhere.
Mhm.
And if you are paying me for my time and you're giving me a set target, right? There are always the possibility that target might not be met.
Hmm.
But I've actually devoted my time to your business.
Yes.
Do you think I will not be paid if value is not added?
Do you think that business owner will be paid for his half-ass approach to life?
Okay, wait. Let's see. Like I
No,
said,
let me explain. The business owner will pay you, but life is not going to pay that business owner. No, wait, Abba Josh, you have know this
Like
thing
that
now.
guy.
I tried, it's not, it must work.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me explain. Let me just put it in context, right?
Yes, but for you as a staff, yes, it must work. But for a business owner, I tried is you go pay from your pocket. Fact. So the way life works, it rewards. It rewards anybody that is eating planted. Forget. Let the person be doing
people are
fraud.
eating
The
something
person
they
did
didn't plant
something
to.
to learn fraud. There's no easy way. The person that did juju, you don't get the mind.
Put
Enter
in
first.
the work.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
They are
Putting
putting
in
in
the
some.
work.
See,
Okay.
as long as I don't sabi Bible like that, as long as the earth still remains, seed time and harvest time shall not cease.
Yeah.
Fact.
Things don't work
Like,
like that in this
it
Nigerian economy.
does.
Let me explain. Now, see,
Okay,
let me
let's say
explain.
something in regards to
See,
that.
like I said, I've had the privilege to work in 9 to 5, multiple companies, and I've had the privilege to manage people. And I'm telling you for free, my guy, this is the way you talk. It's not. Let me land. Right now, look at it this way. Let me use myself as an example. Right, coming up, I think when I was doing NYSC, I think I worked with a company. I won't mention their name, right? But on my first day, the company had a training for Sahara Group Energy, right? The people that I think they bought Mobil, Sahara now, oil company, well to do, right? So clearly, I know that the company paid an arm and a leg for the company to run that training for that day. I was one of the facilitators. It was my first day NYSC. My salary was 40,000 naira. Now, I ran that training. I ran it well successfully to the point where nobody knew I was serving. Even when I was coming up, there were multiple government organizations where I couldn't tell them my age or even much about my educational background because they will realize that,
Yeah, more.
you know, so it's not like I didn't know what I was doing, right? But it's just perception, right? In my industry, there was this thing back then where if you haven't spent 10,000 years, there are some concepts that you cannot understand as an individual. That makes any
10,000
sense.
years.
But because, no, I'm just saying like, it's just
Okay,
figure of speech, right?
okay.
But because from a young age, I was exposed to a lot of information, even though I didn't know what to use it for at the time. When I entered consulting, there was an application for it. I can tell you for free that there are projects that I executed, right? If you look at major companies around, right? The perfect example, have you interacted much with oil and gas servicing firms to see how they operate, right? So look at, let me not mention names, but an oil and gas servicing firm operates lean most of the time because they provide support services. So there are some people in oil companies, NNCC, Mobil, who are not exactly core staff, they are contract staff. They're outsourced by a company. So the company recruits for, let's say the IOC, for example, supplies them staff. The IOC, let's say Mobil, for instance, will now pay, let's say Precious Incorporated, and then Precious Incorporated will now pay those guys. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So there is a premium on that, right? So when they are running, they have like, let's say, the average will have like, let's say between 5 to 20 staff. I know how much those people are getting paid and I know how much the company makes. I know what they even do. I've met with people, even organizations where they haven't paid them for 3 months, but I know the official cars that they're acquiring for their top management staff. There are companies, right? They will tell you that they haven't paid them for 2 months. However, their company just facilitated the purchase of like an FPSO, a very, very large vessel. As at 2019, an FPSO was worth about 3 billion naira then. Do you get what I mean? Then, if you now look at the progression, the higher you go, you know what they say, the reward for hard work is more work. Companies in this our ecosystem here, they do not look to reward, they look to exploit.
Give you more
That's
work.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that it doesn't work the way you think. They
Yes.
move to
There
exploit.
is- I usually say there is no commensurate
Mhm.
reward
zero.
for the amount of effort
At
we are
all.
putting in.
And the reason why people can actually earn like 100,000 and, you know, put like maybe do one or two things on the side and get a house and everything is because of our standard of living here, right? If you look at other countries, you cannot buy a house with 55 million. It's 5 million. How now? Well, depending on where you are, Sha. But as you move closer to city centers where people actually want to be, the places that are bubbling or quiet, you have to earn a lot more. And why I'm saying that is because if you look at, let's even look at the structure for maybe banking, for instance, now. If you enter as a young graduate, you go through the bank's training program, they'll pay you like, what, maybe like 300, 350K. Some companies will pay you like, let's say 250, 280. As you start to grow, every year they would probably do like maybe a cost of living adjustment of like, let's say 5 or 10%. And then depending on the promotion cycle, it'd be like 1 or 2 years. It's not as if they are going to increase your salary by up to 50%, right? And even if you are now moving to another company, the HR of the new company will ask for your payslip. Why? Because they want to check how much you were paid before and now sprinkle 120, 50K on top and move from there. So imagine you now started life entry level, right? At least, let's say 350K. In this economy now, as a man, as a woman, maybe it's a bit different. As a man, 350K, what exactly? It won't do much for you. To be very, very honest. It actually wouldn't do much for you. Even if you have a car and you want to fill your tank every week, where would the 350K carry you? Now, let's assume that the promotion cycle is even twice a year. Like some companies would do, maybe, KPMG and some other consulting companies, depending on your department. Let's say they increase your salary by 10% every time you are promoted, right? So you're earning 350. 6 months, you add 10%, right? That's 35K. So you're now at 385. Add another 35K. At the end of year one, you have added 70K to your salary. Now, you keep going. If you now do like, let's say a geometric progression, saying, okay, first year, you are earning 70K more. The next year, you do like, let's say 140K. The next year, 280. How many years would it take for you to get to 1 million? The 1 million that is even still nothing in this economy now. And then if you look at data with the way inflation has been going, by the time you now start to earn the 15 million, 20 million, would you still be able to buy a house or a car? Do you get what I mean? At the time when all of us started working, maybe all of us I'm assuming all of us around the same age. How much was this Camry Muscle? Camry Muscle, foreign use was not even up to 30 million. Now, Nigerian use good deal is 5.5. Do you get what I mean? How much was rent then? How much was rent now? At that time, Pringles, do you get what I mean?
Like
times 2.
without warning.
I'm telling you.
In this Nigeria,
50 to 700
like in this our short life, we've changed dollar for 160. Now dollar is 17.
So how do you?
Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah,
But
see,
I
what
want
you
to
said
ask a
is
specific
can.
question too, because
Can.
you know why? I think I'm passing through that right now. So I want to ask him a specific question. He said that I think it's in his. You said something about you earning so amount, owing this, and have stuff to do, and you still
and you
save.
still save.
How do you do that? Because right now, but they choke me like,
Yeah,
like
and you know,
Kill me.
you started you
So how
were
do
very
you even
fancy
save?
when you're talking about job entry in a bank. Let me shock you. There are people who have families who are earning less than 100,000,
Of course, yes.
but
yes.
who are working,
Yes.
who 24 hours are
They
not even
slave.
enough
Yes.
for them, because like they are doing multiple jobs just to make ends meet.
Yes.
You are coming from a place where people earn 500,000, 300,000.
He said his friends are DG,
5 million,
anything,
bro.
Yeah.
There are people,
like
and see, these guys are being given the idea that going into business is another source of income. You know, so probably they are putting in the work in this aspect. Maybe even if it's not a 9 to 5, people they have majority of
their time.
the hours in a day, they put it into their major work.
Major work.
Now, when they come back in the evening, they want to maybe open a kiosk, like they have a kiosk or something. Like what people that sell fruits, what people that juice, all these things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And more money.
And at the end of the day, after slaving for the whole day, the money they make at the end of the month,
It's not enough to take care.
do
of
you
the
understand?
immediate needs
But
of
they are
the
putting
home.
in the work. They don't just have a commensurate
And no matter
reward.
how much effort you put in, your salary is your salary. You've do
If you
2,000%.
if
Your
you
salary is your
work
salary.
24 hours a day,
That's what they will
that
do.
thing that they're giving you is what they will give you at the end of it.
Fact.
And that is why most times people slack. They're like, if after all these things I'm still going to get, what's the need? The system is frustrating the effort. And that's why sometimes it's not like I'm with them or like people that do fraud or people easy money. You are always like,
You want to get
yeah, but they have tried
other
the
means,
legal aspect of things,
everything.
and
That one I don't agree.
they are, no,
That one I don't
I
agree.
don't agree with people who do fraud. And of
Yeah.
course, I don't. But I'm just saying, like, if we have a better system,
environment,
a
system.
better reward system,
When
that
this
when you
is
put in the
coming-
work, you put
see
it.
the result.
Then if someone is lazy, is poor or not up to a standard, we say, oh, because you are lazy.
Uh-huh.
The work you are putting is not is not
Uh-huh.
so you are not expected to have this reward of this person who is working this hard. But
Mm-hmm.
the unfortunate thing is we are putting in the work, but we are not getting the reward. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah. fair.
Exactly.
So
Now, okay, you want to say something?
you know, maybe it's because of our different ideas of business. You get, like I said, multiple streams of income. It's not business. It's not necessarily business. Someone's multiple stream of income can be a business. Another person's multiple stream of income might be he's working for 2 people, 3 people online, or he's, he has bought land here, he has acquired property, things that will make, like you said, even a kiosk, having a kiosk is a business, but like
No structure.
yeah. So maybe I understand what you guys are trying to say with that. Like you mean with only one thing, you're not doing anything else apart from your job. But the truth is, you have a job that is paying well. You are saving to acquire more wealth now. You can't just be saving.
So as you are saving, the economy is fighting you. Inflation rate is jumping.
And then he
You
said
understand?
something about you're owing this one, that one.
And then
How
And
also,
you are still
save.
saving.
Okay, see a formula.
and also, I just want to point this
See a
out now.
formula.
Saving,
formula.
okay.
You
Voila.
don't want to
Hmm.
miss the formula.
Save, pay your 10% tithes. Save 10%.
Okay, let me get
Save 10%. Save 10% of whatever you make, and save another 10% of whatever you make. Anything outside that, use it to fix your problems. Your 100% will not still solve your problems in the first place. So what this
True.
means is, in a year, You know, what this means is you grow your 10%. If you can save and not touch, every year you can do something significant. People always play down how small a year is by trying to accomplish so much in a year. And in trying to accomplish so much, you end up getting nowhere. If you know, somebody will say, me that is earning 100,000, how will I use 1 year and save 100,000? But the truth is, the run around you did, the replace you said you replace it. You know, the times you still took risk, you still didn't save the 100,000. You get, it is better to, you know, and there are different forms of saving. There are families that save 10% together, everybody.
Yes.
And they invest in one person's life per year. Do you know, there's different ways to build wealth. That's just what I mean. And I don't like that people are pointing people in the direction of business because it is more reward, but it is more risk. There are people that are dying because they started businesses.
And the rate is
There
not
are
worth
people
taking.
it's not that it's not worth taking, but take it if you are willing to commit. Like, take it if you are willing to commit to the end. It's not a business. A successful business is as rare as a peaceful marriage. Yes, it's not everywhere. It's not, you know, you were mentioning how many people in KPMG, count how many people are doing businesses and are not, they are living in debt safe. At least salary earner, they finish in your salary the whole month, start again. I'm not saying they're not salary earner, but do you understand? Like, I don't have statistics, but I can say now that there are as many business owners as there are workers now. It's almost the same. And if you look at that data, I'm pretty sure the people earning salaries are doing better.
I would like to
You are
disagree.
looking at,
That is
see,
where we are trying to
I would disagree. I'm very, very sure I'm very, very sure data shows the opposite. I'm sure.
It is not true.
I'm very, very sure data shows the opposite.
I'm
There is
not
no way.
actually saying that, like, if you go into business, you're definitely going to make it.
No, that's
You're
not.
but
definitely
you're
going to.
saying money will be coming your way.
Yeah, at
Sha.
least if you give value, see, just like he said, your salary as a salary.
Okay,
like,
it's fixed. That is
Success.
a good. That's not only a
But as
bad thing.
business-
No, it's
as
not a bad
business,
thing per se.
Your ROI, like
You can be
it's
saying,
not
like, just like
static.
you say, you can scale your
It
business
can
and
also
you get
be
more
minus.
money.
Yeah.
Why is
That's the-
everybody not talking about minus?
So the thing is, see,
It can be
see,
minus
the thing
100.
is, you need to understand, right? See, everything in life, whether it's, 9 to 5 entrepreneurship, Yahoo, OnlyFans,
There's risk.
there's risk and there's good times, there's bad times. That's the truth. But the thing is, with business, the earning potential is what we are saying will give you an edge. For example, now when I first started my business, right? When I say the kind of hunger I saw, the first 3 months, I don't even know how I was even feeling my car. I promise you now. If I wasn't staying in my family house, I promise you I would have been homeless, right? But in let's say 6 months or so, like I said, I made over my monthly salary on one transaction. First of all, about a year, 3 months in, there was a particular day I made more than my yearly salary in one transaction.
Okay. Business.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the thing is, when bad times came, right, there were resources to use to, let's say, shock it because of what had happened before. It wasn't that bad. Do you get what I mean? So even if
But
you're
then,
on a...
but then it's, it's not like a given that every time you're going to be, like, even from the beginning, you're going to see some kind of
I was going
breakthrough,
to ask him, what are the
success.
people
There
that
are
didn't
people that
survive the
start
3
and don't
months?
even
What are the
do
people that
that.
died before the 3
And then
months?
there was a question you threw earlier, right? Like, what happens when you try, and things don't work? The simple answer is you continue. Consistency is what is rewarded. The only person that fails, you laugh, but I'm not joking. The only person that actually fails
Someone
is the person that stops
gives
trying. Because think about it, right? There is this pressure in Nigeria now for us to make it so big at such a young age. But the truth is, it doesn't always happen that way. Every single person, like you said, that made money has a track record. It's like an iceberg. What you see at the top is the tip. You don't see the roots. There are people that did not get their first million naira until they were 35. But if you look at them where they are now, you would never believe. If you even look at musicians, look at how they started, what they had to do. How many of them started as musicians? Some people were errand boys, some were dancers. Do you know how many studio sessions they had to record to get their first hit? Do you know how many doors they had to knock on to get their first record label deal? Things are not easy, but it doesn't mean you should stop just because it's not. Because think about it now. If you stop business the first time, maybe even you've been doing it for 10 years. Imagine you did it for 3 years and you just thought, oh, man, I've done 3 years, enough for me, you stopped. Would you think you'll be here now? Do you get what I mean? Consistency is key. There are people who own hedge funds that lost $4 billion, but they're worth 20 now. What makes their case different? Because they continued. There are times you will meet challenges and you feel like life is over and there's nothing you can do. But if you continue, you build capacity. So you see things that you thought were like a mountain are now like a molehill because you've persevered and you've adapted. So you continue. That's just what it is.
Pick experiences on the way.
Yeah, that's just what it is.
Whenever you meet something like that in the future, you already have a track record. You know what you did to overcome. You can apply it. And then if you stop, if you give up,
like, what's the alternative? What are you going to do?
You are the one losing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? If you give up, 5 years from now, you are not where you want to be. You understand? But if you keep going, 5 years from now, at least you see something.
Yeah.
It's not easy most times.
Yeah.
You want to throw in the towel. Like, it's like, this thing it's taking my last blood. But then, if you stop, you take your last blood.
And like, it's amazing and I'm happy. I've learned a lot too.
Oh, wow. This session has taken us to like places where we didn't know, like from the beginning, we didn't know we were going to touch all this or we're going to go this route. But we're happy we did because these are questions that don't get asked most times. These are areas that don't get, exhausted whenever we're talking about business. And exactly. There's been like an illumination in our hearts from Mr. Precious's point of view to Mr. Joshua's point of view to even Martin's.
With the point of Mr. Joshua and Mr.
Oh my goodness. So there are two school of thought. And I believe you all at home that whatever questions that you have been asking has been answered in a way. And even if it's not, you could just drop your comment. Tell us, what do you think? What other aspect of business do you think you want us to talk about? We are here for you. We want to give you as much value as you can get, even if you don't have to go to school for it. Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Precious and Mr. Joshua, for being on set.
It was a pleasure being here.
Today. It was an honor to learn from the both of you. And we hope the viewers at home were able to get as much knowledge and as much value as we did. Like, this could be a business because we're exchanging value. You understand? All right, so till we come your way next time, this is Precious and my co-host. And together we are
Vibes with Fitmore.